I'm Davey.
I'm Misty.
DMWATS.
Unscripted.
Unedited.
Unapologetic.
Let's get it. What's going on, guys? I am Davey.
I'm Misty.
And you know what it is. Welcome to another episode of DMWATS podcast. You was about to grab that, wasn't you? The mic.
Nope.
I feel like you were going to bring it close to what it is. Because I was about to do it and you was going to do it too. We have the mic right here, guys. But
we're trying to figure out the mic situation. Like a few weeks ago, it was too tin can sounding.
Yeah.
And now it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it happens. Well,
and then I found a flower in my Harry Potter book and I'm baffled by it.
Yep. And now we're stuck down here with our service dog who has the gas.
And I am wearing gossamer.
And don't she look fabulous? I told you got the fabulous look going on. You know what I mean? It's just like the 70s punk rock.
Yes.
80s punk rock.
Yeah.
What she got going on.
I do.
Yep. You guys know you can find us at DMWATSpodcast.com. So head on over there and take a look at us. And we're on all the streaming services. Doge, AMC. I don't think I need to say it anymore, but of course I'm going to do it anyway. Sheba. Still part of that Sheba army. Y'all go ahead and do that. But so Halloween fun fact, right? It's my turn.
It is your turn.
It is my turn for the Halloween fun fact.
Gossamer. And look a little Frankfurter-ish if you're watching me on YouTube.
Yeah. She's got the fabulousness going. She does. All right. So Halloween
fun
fact. That's what it is. So Illinois produces up to 5 times more pumpkins than any other state.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. If you're in the market for a truly destination-worthy pumpkin patch, look to the heartland. The land of Lincoln has more than 15,000 acres devoted to gourd growing, according to the United States Department of Agriculture. These Illinois farms typically grow more than 500 million pounds of pumpkin annually.
That's amazing.
500 million pounds.
That's amazing.
Like, man, that's a lot of pumpkins, dude. Like,
it's a lot of pumpkin.
Yeah, well, we know where most of the pumpkin pie come from, I guess. With that, think about it.
God, I hope they make pie and not pumpkin spice this and pumpkin spice that.
I'm cool either way. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I have a friend, Eric, and he used to, I don't think he does it anymore because he lives in New Mexico, but he used to grow giant pumpkins.
Really?
Yeah. Like the big one, like, the 700-pound things.
Really?
He has one and he had carved it out and he set himself inside of it. Like he could have made it a go-kart. It was that big. It was amazing.
Well, then that makes you think, is 500 million pounds of pumpkin.
What's
annually,
the average
You're
pound?
Right, but the average size of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I need
it's
the
just
average poundage.
Yeah, so there you go. So you have the fishbowl topic today, right?
Oh, man.
Yep, she has a fishbowl topic.
Why?
Because I did the fun fact. You know how this works. I get one, you get the other. So hopefully we don't got to go through 50 before we get to one that we're going to talk about.
Like we did last night?
Yeah,
and then we ended up with cereal.
Yeah,
I was so happy.
Because cereal is our code word for, hey, we need a better topic.
And you know what shocked me about the cereal episode? Other than the fact that we could talk about cereal for 30 minutes.
We did it, folks. We did it.
That I had stories. I had cereal stories.
Yeah.
And I have one that I didn't mention. And I really hate that because it was a good one. So maybe we'll save it for Christmas.
Yeah,
because it's kind of
Christmassy. All right. Well, let's see what she pulled out of this good old fishbowl.
I'm
and
nervous.
Hopefully don't be nervous. We got plenty of goodies in there and plenty of good things for people to.
I am not comfortable doing this right now.
Okay, let me see. Let me see what that one is. Yeah, we ain't doing that one.
You don't want to?
Nope, we already did.
Okay, so I'm gonna say what it is, and then I'm gonna give a brief explanation of why we're not comfortable doing this. Back in August, we had a situation while we were doing a podcast.
Yep.
And
true story, guys.
So what I pulled was ghosts, encounters, and experience. And I'm not ready to talk about it. If you would like to listen to it, which we just had a friend listen to it and give us the times. In fact, I'll give you the times right now.
Yeah.
So go to YouTube.
If you pull up our afterlife episode, is what it is. It's the afterlife
go
episode.
To the Podbean or
right.
DMWATS
Whatever you're watching us on, go to the afterlife episode. And we talk about afterlife, ghosts, and so on, and a few things there. And on there was some few things that we had happen, and we were like,
13 minutes and 2 seconds in, you will hear something plain as day. And I promise you, was not Davey and I. We do not do edits. He adds the music at the beginning and at the end.
That's it.
And then maybe does a little fun thing, but It's never, we do not edit. What you get is what you get. We cuss, we scream,
we too cheap for all that other stuff.
Yeah, no.
That's all too much
Not
stuff.
only that, but we already do a lot.
Yeah, we already
and
do
that's just more.
Yep.
And that's just software we aren't privy to.
Yeah. Well, let's pick another topic.
So 13 minutes, 2 seconds.
There's another one
in the afterlife episode, and then again 21 minutes 50 seconds, and then again at 24 minutes 38 seconds.
Yeah. So
DMWATSpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you hear. I just gave you
it's a little bit different
the times, and I'm still not comfortable.
Yeah,
we not cleared it out. We did stuff, but I'm not also here to press it. And it's Halloween, and superstition and all that stuff.
We'll pass. What's that one?
That's what we pulled last night.
Okay, third time's a charm. So one more. You want to do one more?
And now we pull crafts again and again. That's all I've been doing is crafts because of Halloween, and we have a party going to.
Third time's a charm. This is what we do. Don't look at me. You pulling it this time. You pulling it this time. All right. So which one we got? What's that one? Okay. Awesome. We're going to talk about that one. Today's fishbowl topic will be proposals. Now, we're not talking about an office business thing that you do, like, hey, we put together a proposal.
Not talking about a business proposal.
No, we're not about, well, sort of business proposal. We're going to talk about proposals.
How about mutual acquisition?
Yeah, there you go. Proposals. So we've seen some good ones.
A little bit of like a hostile takeover, a little bit.
We've seen some good proposals. I mean, I think some of my favorite, I guess, call me biased or this, is the military ones that we've seen. Those ones when they come back home. And they propose immediately because those military homecomings, you see those guys come out of a box with a ring, or they come out and just just surprise them with a proposal or something like that. I mean, now don't get me wrong. My proposal to my wife.
His proposal to me was amazing.
Yeah. Now, story time. So here's the thing. So
tell me a story.
Real talk. So if you go back to our soulmates episode, you may have heard this story, but this kind of goes in with the fishbowl topic that we just picked for proposals. So with my wife, I met her and I knew immediately that this was a woman I was going to marry. Now let's talk about that first, because you can't just walk up to somebody like, hey, you know what? You're going to be my wife. That's what's going to happen. You either finna get.
No, you can't do that the day of. You wait till 3 days later.
Duh. I mean, that's the obvious way to go. Is you can't do it the day of because you're crazy. 3 days later, though, was like, oh, okay.
Fair game.
Fair game. Which is what happened in our case. 3 days later, I said, yeah, I'm marrying you, right? I could see that happening. I knew immediately that she was gonna be my wife.
You did.
And I told her, and then I told everybody else. Including my mom, that I was getting married. I hadn't asked her yet.
Yeah, no.
Hadn't asked her.
I was there when he told everybody, though.
I'm calling everybody, talking about the good news. And
of course, they're going, oh my God, when? And he's like, the end of May.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
hadn't asked her yet.
That's 2 months away.
Mm-hmm.
Hi. Yeah. I'm the chick that will be your bride.
Yeah, you think maybe I should be told
Can
about
I
this?
Have a date? And you go, I said the end of May, didn't I?
And but I remember how I actually did ask her. We had just got off our knees from praying. We didn't even get up.
It was
we were on our knees praying.
Yeah.
And I just thank God for bringing such a beautiful soul into my life. And I can remember after we said amen, and I remember we kissed and we held our hand, and I asked her to marry me. And it was like,
that's not what you said.
I know, but hold on.
Oh, okay.
I mean, come on.
All right.
I guess it was something like that. It was something like that. But I can tell you this much. That night was like, even though I had told her that we were getting married, I think her saying yes was still like a surprise, and a surprise and a beautiful moment in my opinion. I was still, even though I knew she was going to say yes, there was still that little bit of, I hope she says yes. I hope that I'm not saying all this stuff. And she's like, I've been meaning to tell you this.
About that.
About that. Sorry you didn't told everybody, but I really didn't want to do this, but think we should wait, I don't know, some years. I'm thinking some years, you know what I mean? But she said yes. And from that moment forward, don't get me wrong, I was the happiest man on the planet already when I met her. You know what I mean? But from that moment forward, we became a team.
Yeah,
we became a team. And that was that, but not to make it about the mushy stuff. That was, even though this is about mushy stuff.
It is. And so what you said to me after we had gotten done praying, I went to stand up and you grabbed my hand and pulled me back down, and you go, in front of God and everybody.
Now,
which was God.
Yeah.
Because it was just me and him in the bedroom. He said, I need to do this before God. And I want to know if you will be my wife. And I just laughed and cried and said, of course I will be. And we held each other. I mean, it was just a holding of each other.
It was
and then I said, ow, that was my knee.
Yeah, I'm saying that wasn't me on that.
That's
one.
fine.
That was my fault. Sorry.
I'll rub some dirt in it later. But no, it was beautiful and it was poignant, and it was 2 weeks before the date.
So I asked, that we talked about proposals. This is what,
because you have to understand, the week before he said, so you got a list of judges yet? For what? We being sued?
Yeah.
No, we're getting married.
Yeah.
You want to ask me first? Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
that's what he said to me. Yeah,
I will. But you can't do it right when she say something about it. You're gonna ask me? Well, I'm not finna ask you right then and there. No, you gotta, it has to be a surprise. It has to be, unexpected.
And I loved every bit of it. The funny thing is every time you told somebody, I kept a rolling tab. Like I really did. I was like, okay, he said the end of May, and then he'd tell somebody else, and I'm like, he's still saying the end of May. And then like 2 weeks to go by and I didn't hear anything. And then he'd say, oh yeah, the end of May. And I'm like, God, he's serious.
Yeah.
Because you can say the end of May, but then, maybe this summer. You know what I mean, ladies? No, he had a date.
When we got a hold of them, it was, I said, hey, we're trying to shoot for the end of May. All right, how's the 23rd? Yeah. That'll work.
Even though we got married on the 24th.
Well, I know, but we kept saying it was the 23rd.
Oh, we did, didn't we?
We kept saying it was 20th. Don't try to come at me I forget.
No, because here's the problem with this. We have a fake anniversary. Yeah, we're those people.
We have a fake anniversary.
So
it's March 23rd.
Yeah.
No, March 24th.
March 24th.
So
we get confused because to us, we got married in March.
Yep.
But we didn't.
Yep.
But
because that was our cruise, right? Was it in March or was that February?
Our cruise was in March, but it was like March 3rd.
Yeah, we kept.
And I don't know where 23 came from, but we just went with it.
People on the cruise, they was like, "Y'all married?" Yep. Sure are.
It's our anniversary.
Yep.
Maybe that's where it came from.
That is because they felt like
March 23rd.
People thought we were married for years already. Yeah, it was like we're not telling anybody.
Okay, so anyway,
proposals though.
But how do you feel about big proposals?
So, here's my thing about big proposals. That's great. I see nothing wrong with a big proposal and stuff like that. I mean, if you got the money for it, go ahead, by all means, have at it. But, sometimes you leave yourself open to, like, if I'm gonna do a big proposal, the wedding gonna be at the courthouse. You know what I'm saying? The wedding will be at the courthouse. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna get all this big old proposal and stuff like that. But I don't see anything wrong with it. There's a lot of planning.
There's a lot of planning. I think it's amazing. Kudos to those that do stuff like that. Like, I think it's amazing.
Yeah, it can just
but
be.
At the same time, there is nothing more romantic than a man that tells you on their third date that they're getting married and then tells everybody. I'm sorry, to me, that was so romantic that he told everybody else in front of me.
Yeah.
And we were married within 6 months. It was beautiful, romantic, spontaneous in the moment. And he said to me, we can get to know each other later. Why do I need to get to know you before I marry you? Isn't that the point of the marriage?
Yeah, I did.
And I was like, I am so in love with you. I'm so down for this adventure.
I did say that.
Yeah,
isn't that the point of marriage?
That's the point.
And it's funny that we see, I saw somebody had put up on Facebook, like, hey, a man knows within 6 months if he wants to marry you. You know, he don't need 2 and 3.
We saw that 2
plus
days
years,
ago,
yeah.
and I just smiled because it's true.
Yeah.
And ladies, we're always taught that. It really is true.
Yeah. But then, you know, one of my friends put up too and said, hey, actually, that's a red flag for me if somebody proposes within 6 months.
Because of a past experience?
Well, because it's like, I mean, what she said, it did make sense, but I'm like, nah, I still disagree though.
Well, then tell me
it
what the
was,
red flag
it was
is.
more of, she was like, you know, because why would you want to marry me? You don't know how I am. You haven't lived with me and stuff. I'm like, haven't lived with you if I waited 2 years either.
But here's the thing, and that's what people forget. Back in the day, you didn't live with the person.
Yeah.
You didn't live with them until marriage.
Yeah.
You didn't have sex until marriage.
Yeah.
You didn't do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So now it's like a requirement that you've got to live with me for 2 years. No.
Look, but
I'm not that chick.
And there's not to put
I'm old fashioned.
Right. There's not to put a guilt trip or like, hey, shame on y'all.
Or to say your man isn't in love with you because he didn't marry you right away.
No, that's it. That was work for us. And one of the things that, you know, we've seen a few proposals, you know what I mean, that is like what about the ring and the food proposal?
So here's what's funny. I never told you this.
What's that?
But I never thought that was a good idea.
Me neither. I never thought it was a good idea. That's exactly what I said. Like,
it's a choking hazard.
Like, I get it, but especially if you have it in something that's already crunchy.
Or how about just a decadent, like, what do you always see it in? Like, it's usually like a decadent chocolate. Yeah. Like a chocolate mousse or a chocolate cake or a lava cake.
Some people swallow them things whole.
Guess what I'm not doing is chewing. You put some decadent chocolate in front of me.
Yeah. And not only that, how dangerous is it to put metal like that? What about that metal like stuff? The metal stuff that, like, you know, because the ring itself, and you put that in some food, you know, it is metal.
Well, but they're not, honey, they're not baking it in there though.
Yeah. They're just putting it in. Okay.
Putting it in after and covering it up.
Yeah. So it's one of those things, like, I mean, they're like,
I don't want it in my food.
Yep. Then there's a surprise distractor, and then she turned around and you're on your knee proposal.
Well, that's sweet.
Yeah, and then, you know, and I think that was nice. I think that was nice. You know what I mean? But then, of course, there's the extravagant proposals where we got to take you to France first, and then I'm gonna propose while we in France.
See,
together,
and I don't like those either. You know why?
Yeah.
Because then what if you just good example. You took me to the Bahamas. I didn't expect you to propose to me.
Yeah. Yeah, which I didn't.
But do you know what I mean? Like that sets up people, and they're like, "Oh my God, he's taking me to France. He's going to propose on the Champs."
That can be a.
And then he does it, and then you come back, and you're heartbroken, you're pissed off, and then he doesn't know why because you're passive aggressive and won't tell him. Yeah. I mean, it's just setting yourself up for failure. It
is, and so I had I had a guy. Yeah, that would fucking suck.
Sorry.
Anyway, that would suck, but it'd be pretty fucking funny at the same time. I saw somebody, you know, in the military, we do these award ceremonies and promotion ceremonies. Yeah. And this guy was getting promoted, and they bring him up on the stage, and he was getting promoted, and he had his girlfriend at the time come, and we do what's called tacking on his stripe, where they'll put the stripe on and they punch it. They punch it. Yeah, like, hey, congratulations.
Right.
So he got his girlfriend to come up, and she tacked him on, you know what I mean? And he was like, you know, out there, everybody was like, oh, that's cool. And she turned around, she was supposed to grab something, and he dropped it. And he called, he's like, hey, babe. And she turned around, and while he was on one knee picking up the paper, he had reached in his pocket and asked her. And she immediately burst into tears.
Sweet.
And the entire room, the entire auditorium jumped up like, yeah.
See, she didn't expect that. That's sweet. Mm-hmm. Or so, did you think it was sweet, or did you think it was gratuitous?
The entire room, including me, jumped up and standing ovation for him. And at the end, everybody lines up who got promoted, and the entire everybody in the building comes through and shakes their hand and say congratulations. And I said, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, I about cried on that one. So,
that's so sweet.
But congratulations, man. You know, so that was.
So see, the one proposal I was a part of didn't go very well.
What?
Yeah, so
we don't name names, but no, there it is.
I went, I traveled great distance to help someone pick out the ring, and we did. The minute I stopped moving that car from a 2-day trip, we went, picked out the ring. it was labor's. He had already picked out like 10.
Oh, okay.
So when I got there, I was the deciding, okay. And I'm one of those people, I can set me aside and just kind of tap into that person and be like, no, this one. And then we'd all gotten together. I was staying at their house. So of course, friends, family, people were coming over. It was a big cookout thing, doing what we always do when I visit family.
Okay.
And so he put it in her glass.
Ooh, okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
And so she saw it, and so she fished it out. And when I say lifelong friends, at the time we were all in our 20s, 30s. Okay. So we'd grown up together, been into high school, together. Like we all grew up in the same neighborhood. So we had seen it, and she threw it at him.
Ooh.
And then started cussing him out. And it
Why?
was time number 3. Misty went over a table.
But why would she do that? Like,
because she wanted the big proposal and said it.
Oh, so not the whole
said it.
I'm not ready. Why would you do
this?
The
bitch said it. She said, I wanted a big proposal and I want it to be intimate. And why would you do this? And why has everybody got to be here for it?
Yeah, that ring would have went back.
Needless to say, I didn't like the bitch anyways. But again, I'm one of those people. I set myself aside. If I love you, and you're proposing to someone, I'm going to do everything within my power, including setting my own shit aside. And
did they get married?
Oh yeah,
really?
Yeah, sure did.
Man, well,
I was a maid of honor.
Oh man, that was a hint, but all right. Whatever works.
It lasted like 10 years or something.
All right, well, they got.
It was still a marriage, but man.
Yeah.
And I was like, I never fucking liked you. And I went over that table, and friends are pulling me off, and they're pulling her away from him and holding him back because
So what about the
California? That's what we do.
So there's another type of proposal, like the basic training proposal. That's the one. Okay, that's our dog snorting at us. Anyway, but yeah, the basic training proposal, where people will get out of basic training
and get married,
or so you get what's called base liberty.
Okay.
And guys will leave basic training. You get like a day or 2 or something like that. And they'll leave basic training, not leave, but go on liberty, come back with a ring on. It's like, bruh.
So basically, it's basic training elope.
Yeah, so like, because so lots of times
because you go through a lot of emotions.
Exactly what
isolation.
I was about to say. And in basic training, you're isolated from the world. You're isolated from the entire world. Like you appreciate something as simple as a Gatorade going through basic training. Seriously.
Even in the Air Force.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to believe, but that's true. Maybe not anymore. You know what I'm saying? But when I went through, that was that hard gangster shit that we used to do. But
but seriously, when you went through, cell phones weren't allowed. That kind of stuff. That's true. Now they are allowed.
Yeah. And so, you're cut off from the world, literally cut off from the world. And then when you're finally free to see people again, I mean, I told you what I did when I got out of basic training. I was able to go to the store. I bought every CD that Master P had put out at that time. Remember, I was like on my no limit, everything. I think it was 8 weeks. So that's 2 months. So for 8 weeks, 2 months, I didn't hear no limit or anything like that. And I remember going to the BX, and after I got out of basic training, I bought every no limit CD that was there that I know I didn't have.
What happened to those CDs?
Yeah. If you listen, brother, what happened to those CDs? Yeah. My little brother, I told him I'm over it, but every now and then it comes up. I have a proposal
for you, Tavares. Why don't you go ahead and for Christmas buy every No Limit CD you can find, and then we can all rest easier because we'll never hear the story again.
Yeah, exactly. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tag you in this and put the exact time that we are talking about this and say, hey, got a message for you. Just say. but yeah, there's the basic training proposals, and then the tech school proposal too. But a lot of times, like I think when the military, because we get sent all over the world, and there are times where, if you're just with a girl you're not married to her, if you go on your first deployment, lots of times that can be something that is like, look, especially if you was in like Afghanistan, Iraq, one of those places, you come back, your girlfriend is like, you didn't propose over the phone.
Yeah.
Because especially if you see your life flash before your eyes, you're like, you know what? Look here. Let's Zoom and get me. You know,
so okay, so then I'm gonna just do this real quick.
Okay.
My grandparents on the Portuguese side got married by proxy.
Okay.
But it was like 1918-ish.
Yeah.
I want to say. And she was still in the Azores. He had gone off to Hawaii. And as a lot of Portuguese people did, and my family comes through not Ellis Island, but they come through Hawaii.
Okay.
So I have a lot of, as you know, Hawaii influence in my culture. And so I always thought that was interesting because I always wondered how they, how did he send a telegram?
Yeah.
What was it? Or was this a plan that they had hatched, before he left?
Yep.
Because from what I understand, her family disowned her.
Wow.
When she got married.
Yeah.
On saying that, what I want to ask of you is like, what is your favorite proposal? Like, have you ever been, other than the graduation, have you ever been a part of, or have you ever seen like a movie, or like, what do you think is the best kind of proposal?
And I think the best kind of proposable. I think to tell you the truth, I think the best kind of proposal, and this seems a little biased. Okay. I think the best kind of proposal is from someone who doesn't have much. So I think, like I said, it's kind of biased. Okay. I think it's from somebody who doesn't have much, because, let's say I'm a millionaire, right? Doesn't mean I can't be in love because I'm a millionaire. That's not what that means. And I met you as a millionaire. It's a lot harder if I was rich, when I met you, to be like, okay, is this she want me for me? Or does she want me for my money? Like, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think the best proposal is from somebody who isn't rich, because it's like, I don't got to try to put you through all this to prove you don't want me just for my money.
Right.
Because that's always in a person's head. I got to protect myself.
Sure.
How do I know? Like, oh, it's love at first sight. Oh, really? Was it love at first sight?
Right.
You mean, or is it like, hey, I mean, I wasn't rich.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, or nothing like that. And it's like, look, I got all this, I came with all this baggage.
Right.
And I guess I could just use myself. I came with a lot of baggage when I met you. Hell, still got some of it when I met you.
We're still unpacking,
we're still unpacking. And you look through all that, and I'm gonna try to say this without tearing up. I'm on my podcast, but we went through all that, and still you was like, yeah. You know what I mean? So
let's go.
So yeah, exactly. So to me, that one is like, there's somebody who don't have much, but it still is like, look, I can't offer you much. All I got is my heart.
Yeah.
And my devotion to you. And is that enough?
That's all.
And then for somebody to accept that and say, like you said, that's all I want.
Yeah.
To me, then that's something special. Yes. That's a good proposal.
It's very special.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was very sweet.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I do have to say,
no prenup.
Nope. That should be another Fishbowl Topic. Prenups.
No prenup.
No prenup. But no. And so I do have to say something before we head out. One of our kids did the same exact thing too.
He
did. One of our kids,
proud of him.
And we are extremely proud of him.
And if he's happy, we're happy.
And if you're happy, we're happy. He met someone.
Yeah.
And he married her within a short time frame. And as I said, is, if this person makes you happy, that's all I care about. If this person makes you happy, everybody's you're too young, you did it too fast. What were you thinking? She was looking for a way out. You don't know what you're doing, blah, 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 blah. You know what? Life is about lessons.
It is.
And one of the biggest things that I can say to that, you're learning a couple of lessons here. You're learning to follow your heart, not what people say.
Yeah.
You're learning to follow your heart.
And listening to your gut.
Listening to your gut, listening. So to both of you, we will toast to you both.
Yes.
We love you both. Congratulations to you both. We love you. We can't wait to meet her.
It's very sweet. And that's making me tear up because I can't wait. Because all of our kids are my favorite people.
Yes.
but he was so unexpected in my life. Because I'd met everybody else, you know, and then I finally got to meet him, and he is so much like one of our other sons.
Yeah.
That it was so unexpected. And
Yeah.
I adore this kid.
Yeah.
I adore all of our kids.
Oh yeah.
But he was unexpected.
Yeah.
And I'm just so happy for him.
We're extremely happy for you, son. Make no mistake.
Extremely.
There's no anger on this side. Nothing but congratulations.
But I do have to really quickly say this.
Okay.
There was another proposal I was a part of.
Okay.
And it was my brother's, and they're celebrating their anniversary.
This is their 10th, I think.
Yeah.
Their 10-year. Yeah, they're in Cancun, right?
Yeah, but he did it with my coffee. So I had a coffee label called Gloucester Joe's. And I had sent it to him and said, hey, you know, I need a commercial kind of thing. Because we just did a fun thing in the community. And he goes, well, that's great, because I'm going to propose to Carrie. And so for weeks, and I sent him 3 bags of coffee. And so he called me and we Skyped and we did all of that, and he orchestrated it. And I told him, okay, so I was watching with my mother. It was Christmas. And I was watching with my mother in Massachusetts. My brother is in California, Vacaville.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, Gene, now I need you to grab the coffee. So what he did is he'd open the coffee, put the ring in the coffee, and did the bag. And so I said, okay, now I need you to go over to Carrie, and the Christmas trees in the background, this big, beautiful window. And I was like, okay, great. I said, and you're going to hand her, and it had a big red bow on the coffee, and he hands her, you know, perfectly the Gloucester Joe's, and she takes it and she looks at it and she opens it and she smells it and she jumps up and down. Right. It was really hokey. And I have it all on video, and it's wonderful. And then he's like, and he looks at it and he smells it, and they're jumping and they're doing all this stupid stuff. Yeah. And then he reaches in and gets on his knee.
Oh, wow.
And goes like this. And it was so.
With the whole bag of the coffee.
He was so scared.
Oh, really?
You can see his fear. He went like green.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it was and she just bawled. It was because they were high school sweethearts. Yeah.
So and we're gonna say a toast to them over in Cancun.
Happy anniversary in Cancun.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
We're jealous,
in Cancun, doing your thing.
But we still love you.
But so to top it off, that's our proposal.
Oh, it was so mushy.
It was a little bit mushy, but
oh my God.
Yeah, it was a little bit mushy, but you know what? Hope you guys enjoyed it, because we definitely
look like something out of Rocky Horror for the mushy episode.
But it's pretty nice.
But seriously, look back at Afterlife.
Yep, look back at Afterlife, those times we told you.
And write us, DMWATSpodcast.com. Let us know what you hear, because there are things that I hear that nobody has said yet.
Yeah.
But I promise you it's distinct. I promise you it's unedited. You can go on TikTok and see our thing where we immediately recorded because we felt it.
Yeah.
And it stopped
was something else.
Our recording. And like I said, we took care of it.
Yeah.
I have the skills. He has the skills. We took care of it. But yeah, just be safe, and sometimes don't invite shit into your house.
Yeah. So guys, hey, thank you guys for tuning in for another episode. We're going to go ahead and say, you guys know you can find us at DMWATSpodcast.com, DMWATSpodcast@gmail.com. You guys make sure while you're on you can find us on different streaming services, Doge, AMC, Boom goes to Sheba.
Boom goes to Sheba.
Boom goes to Sheba. Also, don't forget at DMWATSpodcast.com, you guys, we got a lot of merch. Just because you don't see it on the YouTube when you're on our YouTube and this, no, we got a DMWATSpodcast.com.
And I'm pretty sure this week makes 100 episodes.
Yeah, this week makes 100 episodes.
So we're gonna get some champagne.
Be on the lookout. Yeah, we'll get some champagne. Be on the lookout, and we're gonna post our 100th episode. And so we're pretty happy about that, guys. And so we haven't decided exactly what we're gonna do for the 100th, but at the same time,
well, it has to be a dress-up episode.
Of course, it's gonna be a DMY podcast style. That's how we do it. So signing off for DMWATS Podcast, I'm Davey.
I'm Misty.
And guys, we are DMWATS. Thanks for all the support. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Bye. Propose. This is your sign. Propose.
Don't watch it. You got a plan.